Hello my friends, my name is Jana.eubank and I am back with another scrapbooking process video. I am still playing with my January 2025 hip kits and having so much fun. Now this is the Sass and Sweetness collection, and in this collection of papers there is the most beautiful large floral paper that I just had to fussy cut. So I have one of those fussy cut flowers off to the right, and I knew I wanted to use this as a large accent on the page, and I thought it'd be so cute paired together with this graduating heart paper. I have trimmed this down so that there's equal margins on all the sides. I'm going to mat it with the Bluebell cardstock from the Cardstock kit, and then I'll double mat it again, adding a frame of the mango cardstock. So this is the start of my layout here, and I'm going to take this over to my sewing machine and just add a stitch of white around that heart paper just to give it some more texture and dimension. Now before I do that, I thought I might mat my photos here with the inner piece of the mango cardstock that I gutted from the background paper, but once I held my photos up to it, I didn't quite like the color, so I'm looking for something else, and I decided to go with this beautiful dainty green floral. It just looks so cute with the leaves of the large floral above it. So I'm going to mat that, and then I'll actually flip that same paper over and double mat this grouping of photos with the newsprint side of the paper. So we have 2 cats and 2 dogs at this point, and my son had taken these snapshots with our 2 cats one day, and they're just so cute because my cats are like getting the forced love, right? Where they're getting the forced cuddles with us, but they're so patient and so sweet, and we just adore them. Now I also have this third little photo off to the side of our black cat, and he looks so funny. We just captured this silly little snapshot of him. And every time we look at him in photos like this, it always reminds us of that black dragon, Toothless the dragon from How to Train Your Dragon. Have you seen that cartoon movie? Anyway, so I'm going to definitely include that third little photo on this page as well. So here's where I stepped off camera for a minute and stitched around that heart paper with white thread using my sewing machine. And now I'm just taking my spatula and bending up the edges of the cardstock and the pattern paper layers just to give it some texture and dimension. Now I'm also going to use this rainbow striped branding strip from one of the other papers as kind of a dividing line across the paper. And I'm going to bring in another pattern paper to just add a bit of an anchoring spot and a bit of contrast to the bottom of this page. I thought I might use that aqua scroll paper, but I decided to land on this yellow crosshatch paper. I just think it's so cute and so springy, and I love the way that it ties back in with the florals at the top of the paper. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere that down, and then I'll get that rainbow branding strip adhered across the top of that yellow paper. The next thing I'm going to work on is framing out this cute little crazy photo of our black cat. And in the cardstock die cuts of the main kit, there was this sweet little slide frame that I in a pink floral pattern, and I decided to add the photo to that. So at first I wasn't sure if I should add this photo because I really love the symmetry that's going on with the 2 photos and the large floral down the center of the page, but I decided, you know what, when else am I going to add this photo to a layout? So I'm going to go ahead and pop it in there. Next I'm going to switch on over and start working on my title. Now I wanted to use this foam love word and spell out the title, "We Love Our Kitties." I wanted to center it or across the top and bottom of the photo, but I wanted to add some more layers there to just help those title words to stand out. So I'm turning over to the cardstock shape stickers, and I'm going to pair together these 2 little yellow border pieces behind the word love. As for the other words, the top of the photo, it's going to say "We love our," and so I decided that it might be fun to anchor the words "we" and "our" onto some of these cardstock sticker shapes that are on this paper. There's a bunch of little different labels. They'd be so great to add dates to a layout or tabs to a mini book, something like that. But in this case, I'm going to use them to set apart the words in my title here. So I'm going to place the word we on the scroll looking label there. And then there's another one that has a rounded end, and it's a little bit darker pink, but I think it will work. So I'm going to go ahead and place the other word R onto that photo, and the two pink labels or two pink shape stickers on either side of that love word will balance out that color. Next, I'm going to go below the photos here and look for something to anchor the last photo or the last word of my title, which is the word kitties. I'm flipping through the vellum die cuts that are in the embellishment kit, and I decide to go with the aqua label die cut. So I'm going to grab that. It has a little bit of a floral on it, which I think is really sweet and really cute with that large floral at the top of the page. So I'm going to take a moment here and add that last word of my title to this vellum die cut. I like the way that that title looks, so I'll go ahead and adhere the frame and the last vellum die cut into place. The next thing I'm going to do is look for additional details that I can add around the bottom of these two photos. So I found this phrase strip in the main kit die cuts that says the good, the bad, and everything in between. And we definitely love our kitties during the good, the bad, and everything in between. They're just so much fun and add so much life to our house. Now I found this little Puffy sticker kitty in the embellishment kit that I thought I would add to the left side of that phrase there. I'm going to add the phrase below the title, and then my plan is to add a couple of additional phrase strips with my journaling below that single phrase strip, and you'll see that in the closing shots. However, I want to add some more detail around this photo. So I went to the floral die cuts in the embellishment kit, and I've pulled out the stemmed flowers. I thought it'd be cute to just continue that garden feel and add a couple of these along the bottom. Now, the floral stems weren't quite filling it out as full as I wanted to, so I went back to the main kit die cuts, and I found another die cut that had another cat and another dog. And since we have 2 cats and 2 dogs, I thought that would work out perfectly. So that kind of capped off that title there on either side, or bookended it really well, balanced out the weight of the frame on the left with the larger die cuts on the right, and then it also gave me a spot to tuck in those floral stems and create that garden feel. I popped up the top of the flowers with some foam tape, and I went back up to the large floral at the top of the page and did the same, just tucking in a few foam squares behind the blooms. Now, I wanted to see if there was anything else I might add. I love, love, love these half circle stickers on the cardstock sticker shapes, and I decided to tuck in this little one that says remember. Now, I do eventually go back and pull that off just because I love embellishments, and what I start doing at the end of a page is I start putting a lot of embellishments on. And so usually I have to go back and kind of edit myself a little bit. So that white circle will come off just because I felt like it was throwing off the symmetry that I have kind of going on there. So that one will get pulled off. I'm also adding in a lot of these little cute puffy icons. I know a lot of people struggle sometimes to know what to do with these, but I love them. I think they're so much fun to go to at the end of a layout and kind of, sprinkle in the smaller little details. In fact, we often start with the larger layers of our page, then we move to the medium layers of our page, and then here's where we can bring in these tiny little pieces. And I love that there's little flowers, little hearts, little buttons, all kinds of fun little icons that can fill out your page. Now, I will edit a few of those as well because, like I mentioned before, I get a little sticker happy towards the end, and then I have to edit as the very last step. I knew I've held my paper up, and I knew that I wanted to put something in this top left corner of the page. So I found this tab die cut, and I decided to pull out the pocket life stamps, and I'm going to stamp the phrase "couldn't live without you" onto that tab. I will add that to the top, and then I will also add a couple more of those little tiny puffy stickers. I add a couple of buttons. I do, like I mentioned, move those around color-wise. I think I pull off the orange flower button from the bottom and add that to the top with the yellow button and just kind of adjust everything. I will also pull off the yellow heart and red button from the slide frame as well as the blue bow. I also pull off the orange flower stem from the left. So you'll see all that in the closing shots. I think I was just nervous that I was adding too much and I didn't want to take away from that large floral accent that I already had going at the top. So the final thing that I add is a staple to the tab at the top of the page, and so that will finish out my layout. I have some closing shots here, and again, these are the January 2025 hip kits. I have my February 2025 hip kits in hand, so I'll be moving on to those next. I hope you enjoyed this layout. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.